Yeah, yo. Put your headphones on. What's up? I'm already hot.
Put on the headphones, bro.
Put it. Looking at me like I'm the one. This long sleeve shit. Listen, I was talking to someone from Zimbabwe. Yeah, and he basically said these rolling blackouts, load shedding per se, is one of the first signs of like economic decline, which is like obvious. We already know this.
Facts.
So I actually found a video on TikTok that was talking about like the countries that South Africans immigrate to the most. And I thought it would be a fitting thing since we're getting our visas also sorted out for things we can't talk about yet. So there's like top 5 countries. I'm not sure if it's in order, but like top 5 countries with the most South African immigrants. The first one.
Yeah?
Oh, you want to say?
No, I think I remember some clip like that, but yeah.
The first one is Mauritius.
Oh, right.
It's because it's close.
Across the pond.
Has least crime. And I also want you guys to, I feel like I already know this because you guys are pretty much set in staying South Africa as long as possible because we love staying here and getting work from overseas.
We'll
unless
ourselves.
okay, let me just go. So Mauritius has like one of the lowest crime rates in Africa. And also the visa situation is quite easy. The UK is the UK. It's also quite friendly to us South Africans immigrating to it. Yeah,
Is the thing? Because I'll go.
Yes and no. But it also has like high job opportunities.
Yeah. I mean, look. You guys are about to go to LA, right? This is what I would do. Don't come back. No. Hear me out. The Mexicans do it. They get there, they stay, and then they just don't go back. You guys can do this. It's an opportunity.
You can't do that.
You can't waste this opportunity. It's like...
It will kick you out.
It's a whole thing of like, God doesn't give with his hands. Say it in Zulu.
What did you say?
God doesn't give with his hands.
Let's
Let's go. So that means he's not going to actually give it to you. He's going to provide opportunities for you to take.
I guess I hear what you're saying.
This nigga.
I hear what you're saying, but also
He's going to provide opportunities to take his wild.
yeah.
He's going to give
Also-
you crimes to commit.
Yeah, exactly. I was saying that, and also you're talking the madness as usual. But yeah, that's the
What other countries?
is the UK is a preferred destination as well. Canada is another one. We know someone from Canada. Shout out to Leslie.
Cold.
Shout out
It's
to Pius, because Pius is the...
Yes, he's from there as well.
No, it's not, no.
What?
When you were talking about, there's a guy from Harare who told you.
Harare, yes.
That's Pius.
We
Shout
were
out to
looking up
Pius.
with them. Canada. They got like they are pro-immigration and they have skilled labor shortages, But we also work from home, so I guess
Yes.
we can move anywhere. And then Australia, definitely not that. But yeah, those are the 5. Did I have 5? So it's Mauritius, UK, Canada, Portugal, Australia. Yeah, that's 5.
Are you leaving?
I don't want to. I really like being here.
I've been away for a long time, so I'm happy to be back. Yeah, I mean, I definitely
There's no place
feel
like home.
the struggles and whatever, but at this point, they're not enough to like push me out.
Yeah.
I don't know what will be the last straw on the proverbial camel's
Back. Yeah. But you wouldn't. But if you had to,
If I had to, where would I go?
yeah, between these 5.
Every place is nothing like home.
Really?
I no, like
That's good.
speaking English all the time is exhausting.
It's so exhausting.
This is not. We do this for the podcast. Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm not here for this. But
Stark contrast to what we said.
if
in
I
the
had to
previous
choose,
episode.
right? If I had to choose, would it be an African country? Maybe. What's a place where they have the hooties and the tootsies?
What?
Yeah.
Damn.
Our history. Fuck.
See,
Also, this is none of the 5 that I just mentioned.
But
I know.
I want to go to Rwanda. It's Rwanda, right?
it's Rwanda. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me go to
Fact
Rwanda.
checker. Huh? No, we don't have a fact checker. It's just us. Sorry.
Fact checker. It would be cool though.
Yeah, I think so.
Rwanda.
Like a sultry voice in the background.
So none of these 5 that I spent 5 minutes.
Yeah, none
Maybe.
of those 5.
Nah,
I'm not going to Mauritius. I think. Shout out to Mauritius.
Yeah.
Our fan base over there is booming.
Yeah, we got hella fans in Mauritius.
Rosebank.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Don't jump. You're still in Gauteng, bro.
You said when you want to boost your self-esteem, you go to Rosebank.
This nigga.
No,
I
I'm
love
just saying.
you, bro.
It's okay.
I love you so much,
I love you
dog.
too, bro.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, when I'm feeling down, I just go to Rosebank and I just like, woo. You know, I just come back to
You
life.
never think.
Yeah, let's go.
No, it's great. Rosebank is great. So that's our fan base is Rosebank. But, I'm not excited about those countries. You know what it is. Everywhere you'd go, you will always be a foreigner. You know what I'm saying? And I like visiting places. I don't like staying that long, in general.
Yeah, same.
Life. So I'm a die here in the motherland.
Yeah.
White tears in a duffel bag.
Oh, let's go. No,
Nah,
for
yeah.
real, like I love South man. Like it's
Shout out to South.
with all its ups and downs. And I know there's proverbial camel's back. There's things that will kind of push you to the brink. And for me, the biggest one of all is crime.
Yeah.
Like that one is like electricity and all of that. I think they are things that you can kind of go around. You can kind of fix certain things. You can adopt a certain level of independence and take responsibility of your own life and not relying too much on the government.
Yeah, or you can just buy an inverter. That's all you could have said.
Yeah, but
Again, no, it's
Yeah,
not-
but also
I'm sorry.
no, but it's an inverter and electricity is just those two relationships.
You're like-
Can't buy an inverter for crime. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you don't know.
What
What
is that?
inverter
Like
is a
security
crime?
guards.
The thing is, now, if they know you have an inverter, my man, you're in danger.
Sinjin. How? Explain yourself.
My man, they'll take this thing out.
They won't take this thing. you
They'll
know?
take it.
I knew you were going somewhere.
No,
crazy.
but it's not a crazy
How are they
thing.
stealing an inverter?
Okay, first of all, the battery, the lithiums, these things.
How are they stealing it, my friend?
Yo, stop putting a target. Jesus
Keeps pointing at me.
It's like right here.
Nah, continue talking. Nah.
That's hilarious. But I think it's
The
we
thing
know,
that's
The thing.
the code, the code to the safe. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
No, it's
that's
chill,
hilarious.
but I understand that the need for these like lithium batteries for sure.
Yeah.
but it's good that you guys are not even,
No,
thinking about
if
immigrating.
I wanna adopt the personality of just living here and dying here, but
Same.
if I had to choose, which is the question, I would probably choose Italy.
Italy, none of the 5 again. That's cool. That's
So
cool.
I
That's
don't
cool.
know how difficult it is, but it's like I'm in the arts space, so Italy for me it's just an artistic city, and Florence specifically is an artistic city. So
Yeah, I
and
actually
shout
think
out
I
to
missed
Judd.
one. It was Portugal, which is also
Oh, if Portugal
has more
is
South Africans
easy,
as well.
then,
Yeah. How did I do the counting then? Because I said 5.
Oh,
On my hand.
Looked wild in the video.
Yeah, the comments are
We were
about to look
we were
crazy.
like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Kilimanjaro. Yo, I don't know how I did that. I can't wait to see that on the video. Portugal was the last one.
Yeah.
Actually,
The only people who I know are passionate about moving outside of South Africa
here we go.
is I think every woman I know.
Oh wait, you explain.
Yeah, no. I thought it was gonna go somewhere else.
I mean, like also like, do I ever say anything that you guys know where I'm going? Like, do I ever start a sentence? You're like,
Oh, let's
"We're
go.
going."
Let's
okay.
This nigga is like, I'm unpredictable.
I'm just,
You can't predict my moves.
I'm just saying, man.
No, facts, bro. Facts. You're only
Yeah,
surprised.
dude. Everybody's always like, I think for them
Makes sense though.
it does make sense, man. Like every day you just hear some bullshit. Like the other day, not the other day, yesterday. I heard about. So there are groups that exist on certain platforms, maybe like, certain platforms. So they post like different job listings and whatever. It's obviously people within the industries and whatever.
I've heard of that.
One of these places, someone basically said that, a certain, like they're basically rating companies that were good to work for and whatever. And then from the companies, they also talked about the people that they worked with, like rating them as well.
Yeah.
So if you were a director at a certain place, you'd be rated. You'd be like, oh, okay, it was cool to work with Panda, blah, blah, blah.
Interesting.
And then somebody just said, yeah, no, Panda violated me. And then like
Jesus.
everybody was like, yo, Panda, me too.
Also, this is an example.
Yeah, okay, no, so yeah. It's
Yes.
of course, Panda did not,
It might
nothing
have
that I
not-
know of. Nothing that I know of.
What would you guys do if
Well,
one of us?
that would be so awkward.
That would be tough.
That would
Honestly,
be
though.
strongly crazy.
What is that conversation? What does that conversation look like?
Does this exist anymore?
The friendship or the podcast?
All of it.
Everything.
I can't be seen with you. Like,
Cause I
I don't know.
like
Yeah.
I know you guys at such a personal I think I would have been able to spot such shenanigans, but you
wouldn't.
never know. Like psychopaths exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to Jordan Peterson and he was talking about how people who are like that, like they hide it really well.
Yeah, for sure.
So they live in a world where it's they revel in like fooling people and ruining lives. So you wouldn't be able to see it, and it would be like it would shake me to my core. I think like I wouldn't know how to act, to be honest.
It's tough, man.
What would you do?
It's so tough, bro.
So like, yo, Mkhao did.
A B C.
How?
Like
Yeah,
like that would be
that
the
would be
reaction.
crazy.
How?
Do you guys call me?
Yeah, I'd have I would go to you.
We
Go
go.
pick you up.
You know,
Yo,
what the
dog.
fuck were you doing?
What happened?
Yo, tell us what's happening. Why are you doing this?
You know
bro?
what's crazy? It's not even once. It's like you find out I've been doing it.
It's child.
that's tough.
Yikes. Oh, you're not coming to my place no more.
That's tough.
No,
You're not coming to the
because
place no more.
once is almost like, okay, is this a
what happened
misunderstanding? Or
What happened?
All of the it's child, bro.
Yeah,
It's a list now.
It's
can't
unfortunate.
be. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, man. That would be difficult to.
But you're my brother, dog. That's the tricky part.
It doesn't make it tricky. We'd have to get the truth and move from there.
This look you
basically.
give me right now.
He's really thinking about
No,
it.
no, like I think he's tearing up. Are you tearing up?
No,
Your eyes just like this.
I'm not tearing up.
Standard.
This nigga thinks I'm tearing
teary
up.
I
eyes.
thought he was crying.
Look at my eyes.
No, I'm not tearing up.
Okay, cool.
I'm just thinking deeply
Okay, cool.
because you know what I mean. There's like, I get it now. I like when I put myself in that perspective, I get why men hide their boys.
What do you mean? Explain that.
They're boys.
No, they they hide their boys when they do wild shit. Because I was like, you're my brother.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I protect my brother at all costs.
Oh, not like that. I wouldn't want you to protect me like that. No, don't. If I do something, can I tell you something? No, oh my God.
Nah, that's crazy. Beep that for sure.
Me personally, I don't think I would.
Oh, this is a nervous love. It's not serious. I'm not even laughing for real.
No, but that's the thing. Like in the podcast, we gotta say the thing and then beep it if
nah.
necessary. But that raw emotion, because that's true. Like it's like, am I sending Nati to prison?
What did Nati do?
No, are you sending Komoto to prison?
Okay, nice one.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, what did Homoto
Yes, whatever he did. That's the thing. That's the thing, bro. That's your boy. Let's move on, bro. There's no answer to
Yeah,
it.
there's no answer.
No, there is an answer.
Man, nah,
There is an
nah,
answer.
nah. There's no answer to this, bro.
What do you say?
Hey, listen.
This is part of the
Yeah.
It's part of the problem.
Jesus
No, it's part
Christ.
of the problem.
But I
It's
hear what
exactly
you're
this.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like it makes sense. Like all the stories we hear, it makes sense why
But we have to
all of the
acknowledge-
women
Okay, sorry.
wanna nah, it's cool.
Yeah,
Wanna migrate because they are big targets, man. Like it's not even funny the things that happen to them. The stories I hear from each of the females in my life. I even remember talking to my mom recently, and she was telling me stories about the walk to school. And back then, it would be as simple as it was apartheid, so there was a lot of black gangs hanging out, trying to make a name for themselves and doing like crazy shit. So she would walk past, and she would get harassed by basically getting slapped or something, and then you would end up, okay, you're my girlfriend now.
What?
You're my girlfriend.
What do you mean?
Or breaking your arm. You know that thing they do when they break the arm? Okay.
Yeah, they twist your arm?
They twist your arm. Yeah, okay. You're mine. If I see you with anyone else, I'm stabbing them, doing whatever.
What?
And that was her walk to school, like getting harassed in that way. Frequently. And there was a point where she also told me a story about not knowing where her sister was at a certain point. And it was bad. It was just like,
Yeah.
stuff happened, which was not okay. It was rough, bro. Like she was telling me shit. Like I was like, and you made it to this point. Like it was insane back then. I mean,
It's insane now.
now,
for sure.
yeah. So
And
I
I
can
mean-
imagine why they would wanna go.
Growing up in Soweto, seeing all of
Soweto,
that, I'm like,
yeah,
it's all. That's why I'm torn, but I'm at the same time I'm not torn because I'm just like, if you are that person, which I'm surprised to, which is I'm reacting from shock at the first time, but then a couple of thoughts later, I'm like, no, but how is this monster, basically, right? I don't think anything is like you would be that monster, and it's like it would take courage, and it has to be a courageous thing to stop the monster, man. You gotta stop the monster.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Because if you don't stop it, it happens. If
Yeah.
you keep protecting this thing, it happens.
What I wanted to say is this is why I try to be as honest as possible with you guys about stuff. Or like just like my opinions on things. So you know
Yes.
where I stand.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would hope that if ever I were to be in that position, you guys are able to tell the difference between me lying and me telling the truth. Hopefully you guys know the difference. But also I know that like I don't know, there's just some things that I just wouldn't tell you guys. And
No, and I get it. Like,
there's parts of me that I just wouldn't like expose to you like that. Cause
and those are the parts.
those are the parts, of course.
Those are the parts.
Have
But
we
it-
ever lied to each other? Like, do you
Yeah.
remember?
No, of course, yeah.
I lied to
What are
you
you
guys
talking
about-
Yeah, so we each know what our tells are, right?
No, I don't think I. Have
No,
you guys
right?
have you guys caught me in a lie? No. Have I lied to
Thing
you
is,
guys?
you
and
just
you're like,
said you were honest. So,
no, I mean, no, I try to be honest with my opinions, but like, if I say, like, if I want to keep something secret and you ask me like a very good question, that requires me to tell the truth and I lie about it.
No, you
Are
don't
you able-
lie about it. You just rather not say. So no.
Yeah.
yeah, we've never lied to each other at that,
No,
to
I have
that
lied
level.
to you guys. Remember?
I mean, you know, you brought us back to it.
Yes.
Because I ignored it. And then, what did you lie
No,
about?
it's important. Like I lied to you guys. About it.
Okay,
Yeah.
Why did you lie?
Why did I lie? Let's move. Let's move. Let's move on.
It's content. Please.
Can we have one? You know,
Yo,
you
can
know
we
how many
have structure,
bleeps
bro?
we have?
No, it's fine. It's fine. If it's
Christ.
too much, we'll bleep it out. But did you? What did you lie about?
No.
For me, the important thing is structure.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's a story for a different time.
Yeah. But
Structure.
okay, that's
Can
that,
move.
that is true. But I don't think we've okay.
I love that though.
We haven't
This
lied
nigga
to
goes
each-
for
This
it. I love
nigga-
it.
the
I
jugular,
love it,
bro.
We need that. It's great. It's
We do need
fantastic.
that.
I love it. Yeah.
The thing is, I've watched podcasts like these where people are talking about things that only they know about,
yeah.
and that person is watching in from the outside. They
Sure.
have no idea what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
you-
no.
If,
You know what
if
it
you're gonna
is?
bring something up, give context. Don't just.
No. We definitely now they know that there's something.
Yeah.
So we'll bring it up at a different time at a
Alright.
different
Never
point,
bring
and
it
it'll
up.
come. And but right now
Never
it's
come.
just it's off topic. man.
It'll be for Patreon.
Yes. This is literally. Yeah.
Sure. It's jogging.
Yeah.
It's back.
Jesus Christ, you guys. Yeah, I don't think we've lied. We've lied to each other, but not enough for us to have tells. Because also that would be weird. Because then we're just a bunch of liars lying to each
Yeah,
other.
the bunch of you can't be habitual lies. Like
Yeah.
I don't think this
You
would
can't be-
work.
You can't be known for
Yeah.
This can't work.
that. It's like, wait, did Mkhao say that?
Yeah. What did you say?
Is that every time Mkhao talks, me, Panda and myself just look at each other like.
Come on, bro.
There we go.
There we go again.
Nah, that can't happen.
You
That,
did a what?
that can't happen.
Yeah, so you're right. I think we're all pretty honest
Yeah.
amongst each other. So something like that would be tough. But moving on,
Sure.
you were talking about
Yeah. The purple dinosaur has been updated.
what does it look like, bro?
Looks great, bro.
Nah,
like
dog.
it
I
kind
think,
of looked
I think
nice.
Stay will pull it up.
Barney was
Oh, yeah,
so.
pull it up,
Shout
pull
out to
it up.
Stay.
Stay will pull it up.
No, but I
Jimmy,
want to
put it
see
up.
it. Like, if you have it.
I don't have it.
Can I
but-
just say something? So
for
Stay was actually like, yo, 'cause last
Shout out to
in,
Stay.
in the previous episode, I said when people ask me who my friends are, I just say it's both of you guys. I'm like, it's definitely Terrence and Panda and no one else. I'm sorry, Stay. You're my friend as well. No, like
This
You
is
gotta
facts.
say that.
This is
No, you
facts.
gotta
to
say that.
this. I think also when I answer the question, I just think about like who are my oldest friends, like people like the so-called day ones.
Yeah.
You guys. Everyone else who I met across the way, I tend to not like name them, which is unfair of me because they are also my friends nonetheless.
Shout out to the friends. We'll get back to the structure.
Structure.
Structure. We need to say that
We
every
need the
time.
structure. Back to the structure.
This podcast is named. It will name it.
No, I had
We're
to
figuring out
Check it
structure.
out.
I had to slide that in. I saw that was I actually like this. This is very cute.
I like the new
don't
Bonnie,
like
man.
it, man.
not?
I like.
He likes the creepy
You
one.
know, yeah. No, for real. I think they should have like
Acknowledge.
leaned into it a bit more. Like
I like it as an appealing thing.
you know why I don't like it?
Sure.
It's
go
kind
for
of basic. The new one.
it. He's right, man. He's
You know what?
so right.
It's a purple dinosaur, and
He's
the other
so
one
right,
was like,
man.
I think what they should have done was like lean into there's a person inside a suit, like within the 3D that you're doing, like
make the hands awkward.
yeah, it's like awkward, weird.
It's gone.
This one looks like a 3D version of Barney. Like there's, I guess, I mean, also that appeals to a lot of kids. I'm not, I don't think, I'm not.
We make what appeals to kids.
Yes, this is true.
So we will design what. Let's
Yeah.
design Bonnie. Nah, I'm joking.
Oh, yo, that's
So
long.
long.
You know, it'd be cool though too, because as I'm looking at this, I'm just thinking. Every time I've ever seen one of these cute characters, these Muppets do the most horrifying things ever.
What do you
It was always
mean,
fun
bro?
to watch. It's like
Horrifying.
if they take
Kermit the Frog.
Hermit the Frog, and he's
Kermit.
like a serial killer.
What have they done that?
Yes, they've done a lot of creepy stuff with
There's
Kermit.
so much.
It's just too
Do you
much.
mean the animated stuff, the recent stuff?
No.
Oh, on
They could take Miss
Instagram.
Piggy for like you know.
Oh, like the bad things they do. I guess. I mean, that's part and parcel to all.
But about the design, for me, it's like the creepy element is like it's so cool, right?
Yeah, just it's I don't even want to call it creepy because that makes it have a bad connotation. There was something
No, but leaning
Maybe I'm
into the unorthodox.
unorthodox in it.
That's
Yes,
what I mean. Like
that's-
leaning into the unorthodox. Like right now, it's a very generic dinosaur.
Yeah.
But what we had then was just like this weird shaped hands were right. Like we're trying to really like, even in 3D, make it feel like there's a person in there doing things.
Yeah, it also
Puppeting.
felt very motherly. Like Bonnie was like,
Yeah.
because I'm assuming there was a lady in the suit.
I thought it was a guy.
Really?
Yeah. Just a very nice guy.
Did you guys like Bonnie?
The nice guys are creepy. Have you? Okay. No,
Whoa.
but
I'm kidding. No.
no.
I'm actually with you. No,
You
I'm
know
with
the
you.
Disney nice guys from the 90s or
Those
remember
guys.
those guys?
The guys who kiss people on the show, like kiss you on the cheek or whatever. There's those, man.
Yes. Sure. That was a
Those are
creepy
insane.
era. That was crazy, right? That was nice. Huh? That was wild.
What are you guys talking about?
Stay will pull it up.
No, you can't keep saying that. You can't keep saying that.
No, but like I've always like
Give
even as a
context.
kid when I was watching like these cooking shows and there's a guy
Sorry.
baking and he's kind of telling the educational videos and he's overly nice.
Got it.
I'm like, I've always asked myself, is this who he is when
That's
he goes
unfair
home?
though.
I know.
When guys are playful with kids, we always, I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? Like it's
It's a slippery slope.
there's history behind that, but it's
Yeah.
like you can't just be a guy and play with a bunch of kids
I actually remember
unless they're your kids.
how much you like it.
No, I like it because it's appealing to me, man. Like I like it. It's not taking away from. It feels younger.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a
Yeah.
suit you'd wear though. It feels like an animated 3D show
You know
as
what,
opposed to.
It feels like a friend. That's why I'm like, how do you listen to that guy? Like that Barney felt like a parent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Also, I mean, I hope it's as big as Bonnie. Because
Yeah.
the new one looks shorter,
Yeah.
like a child. I'm not listening to that one.
Yeah.
I'm listening anything that's taller than me. I might be like,
Wow.
okay, what's happening here?
Okay.
What do you mean?
No.
No, height is a thing.
Yes, it is.
The strong one.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that like, I would listen to the old Bonnie.
Yeah, and I think you can also connect with the suit. The eyes is like hard to connect to because they almost look like slightly soulless. But
Yeah,
with
yeah.
these ones, like
Nah, facts.
they went for the big, wide-eyed, the kid stuff, which is great, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe I love 3D though, so it's not that. I just feel like there was there's something lost within that translation into another genre.
I think we've also generally lost the mascot thing.
yeah, also that.
The mascot culture is almost just like only reserved for sports now. I mean, I guess you do see it at parties, but in terms of like just kids shows, the mascot idea, and it's kind of
Oh,
done now.
mascots were really cool. What would our mascot be? Or we should be drawing? Would he be like a welcome pen dude holding a mic?
That's for welcome.
It is for welcome. What would our mascot be?
It wouldn't work, eh?
It wouldn't work. We wouldn't have a mascot.
A podcast.
What about
podcast
like
mascot.
I like dogs. Do you like dog?
I love a good dog.
So maybe like a puppy or something.
A puppy with a
I don't
pencil?
like small dogs. Anything below my knee, I don't know.
And it
I
would
guess.
look great on you.
You better be above my knee if you're a dog.
Yeah,
Small
kind of
dog
dog
would
are you?
look great on you, bro.
On me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
would have
Like
to
you
write.
holding it
Doing
as
this
it's clothed
as a dog.
and it's like
Only
really-
kids deserve this.
Interesting.
Guys, I don't hate dogs. I'm just saying that like for me, preference wise,
You have to look at
big
the
dogs,
camera.
big dogs for me. People
tall
get
people,
offended by
big
the
dogs,
weirdest.
and all that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It would be hard. I would actually love for us to have a mascot. If you guys have any suggestions of what our mascot would look like,
Oh yeah, comment our mascot
let us know.
suggestions on the.
Like, what does this group give? Like, what aura
does
do
it
we give up?
represent?
Yeah, what aura do we give up in mascot form?
Yeah, no, I was thinking about. I heard something. TikTok
Which is-
videos again. Was it a TikTok video?
Wait,
I
Jesus.
forget where I saw this, but basically it was about how there is no
Here we go.
like God needs us. Like we are not. It's actually the other way around. Like, you know how we say we need God. It's actually the other way around. Like, God needs us. So in a way, but I'm telling you what I heard. I'm not saying this is what I'm saying.
Sure. It's interesting already.
You know what that makes me think of?
Tell me.
A lot of I've heard it in a lot of stories in anime and also like in comics, where if you don't pray to that specific god, he sort of loses power. So in some stories, it's like the god is only as powerful as the amount of subjects, I don't know, followers that he would have.
Do you think
And I
God is?
think-
Do you think God is still God even without us? Like without people to say there is God, is there a God? Or
That is so deep.
is it that he just exists whether we're here or not? Like, we could all die and perish, and he'd still be like, I'm God. I also heard there's a new thing now.
Yes.
Can't refer.
The answer is yes for me. Like, I feel like God, because when you say us, are you talking about humans only?
Any
Because-
living thing that recognizes there's a stronger, more powerful being than them. And I'm spiritually speaking.
That's such a good question. I mean, I lean towards yes. Because, I mean, there's so many represented.
Yes, what?
Yes, God exists without us.
Okay.
There's so many ways to represent a God or an idea of a God.
Yeah.
It's like without us, there's a potential of us.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So there will never be a not us. If we're not there, there's a potential of us. So that potential is God. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, how do I unpack that idea? It's like the fact that you thought of us not being around means we will always be around. And God represents a thing that doesn't exist in time, in our time, the past, present, or whatever.
Yeah.
So God will always be there.
Whether we are there to acknowledge him as God or not.
Or not.
If he is what we think he is, then yes. Like, it's also, I keep leaning back to what I know about it, which is, the depictions I've seen in comics and TV shows and anime and stuff. And it's like, if you are a being of that level of power, you would be able to exist without your subjects. I just find it cool how they did it in comics, because I think what they were trying to do is basically ground it, because then it's, if you're telling a story,
You have to
Mm-hmm.
can't have some,
personify it.
yeah, but also you can't have a being that's like so powerful. It's the same thing that happens with Superman.
Yeah.
It's like the stories that you write about him, you keep having to bring in something like kryptonite, because you can't have somebody that powerful.
But the power of God has always, for me, being misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
The power of God is like, it's not this all, like it's everything, but it's like we're trying to understand another thing from a different dimension,
Yes,
a thing that isn't in our realm.
it's something we can't even perceive.
So we are making it, we are contextualizing with using power, with using all seeing.
We're trying to ground it.
And those words are like, when you are moving into a different dimension, those are not even the words. Language is not even a concept. Oh, you see what I mean? Like, now we've used power, all seeing, we've made him blonde. It's like now when you move in a place where there's no time, there is no time, there is time, there's been time, there hasn't been time, there's nothing, there's everything. It's like words are for us. Let's limit our words for us. In that realm, that's a whole different thing. And it's like,
Yeah.
if we want to represent a God with our limitations, we'll never understand it. And it's like so tricky, because I'm trying to say we'll never comprehend God, but let's comprehend him as a thing that is outside of our time. So what that means is almost like you have will to do whatever you want, right? You have will to do whatever you want, and he's watching you, and he knows what you're gonna do, which almost like feels like it's like if he knows what you're gonna do, what's the point of doing it? Because it's already done. Like, do I really have will, or did he already know I'm gonna do it? And those are like the words we use to contextualize this God. But that exists. It's like it exists, and you still have the will, and he still knows you're gonna do that, but you still have the will. It's so hard to articulate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll unpack it as I think about it. But yeah,
No, it's really
it's
interesting.
quite interesting.
So I guess to answer my question, it will probably be. I mean, I think I do agree with what Terence is saying. With, you know, God exists whether we are there or not, whether we like it or not, whether you believe it or not. You know, because I guess like a lot of people can always like rely on science, but for me, you know, there's a lot of things that science just cannot explain, and I feel like those things that science cannot explain is where God resides. Like, you know, the body is just like we don't live and grow from being kids to being grown-ups just from us eating and breathing and all these things. It's also just like it's the soul within us. Like, how the fuck do you explain the soul? What is the soul? Because I guess you can find a way to make the body operate as normal. You can make the heart beat. You can make the blood go throughout the whole body. You can, you know, put oxygen into it, but it's still not going to come alive. It's gone.
You know, there's like
It's all
different theories in regards to that. Like this idea of a thing being gone, this soul. That's where the power of science can come in. I think science is powerful. I think the idea of us trying to find things that aren't, because so many things that weren't before science found it. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's an infinite amount of things that science can find.
Sure.
And if it means then a soul is found, it means then it's physical, it's a material, it's feasible.
So
Everything in this world ever you think about is actually somewhat physical.
So is there a thing that, because for me it almost feels as if, yes, believe in God for sure, but it's almost as if the reason why I believe in him is because I know that we are limited in certain ways. So for instance, I can't read your mind. Like, I cannot fly, and I cannot, you know, I just can't do things that science says I can't do. Like, you know, if I jump out that window, I'm definitely going to splat on the ground, and I'll die probably. Break something within me that's going to
Hopefully.
affect me negatively. But I'm just like, the day when humans can bring a body back to life and it's still the same person. Like, it's not a Frankenstein type of thing, or it's not like the day science brings people back from the dead, like that will freak me out. Because I think for me, that's like the difference between like us and God is the fact that we have no power when it comes to people leaving the physical human world. Like, once you're gone here, you're done. And to that, I almost feel as if it's probably built within us to have these restrictions. Like, it's almost against, like, we almost don't have the mental capacity to figure out how to move 600 light years away from here.
Can I go a bit science fiction-y with it?
Go.
Bringing someone back to life using technology. I don't know how possible this is. What if you you documented somebody up until a certain point, maybe the last save point of whatever, you store it in some drive, and then you wait until the technology is at a point where you can store that on a physical body. Would that be the same as bringing that person to life? Because it would be a machine that has all the mannerisms of that person. Is that bringing someone to life?
I have another question on top of yours, right?
Yeah.
And I think this almost, because it's a great question, because with the most recent things with AI and
Exactly.
faking and voiceovers and
Yeah.
blah blah blah, when you hear that person,
Dude.
what are you hearing? Are you hearing just their voice, or are you hearing them? Because then what is a person? You know what I'm saying? Because this guy wrote down some words.
Yeah.
The context to this is like there's so much fake podcasts that are going out with people who writing their own podcasts in the voices of Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, and all the like, you know?
Yeah.
And when you listen to that, it's like that technology wasn't so accessible to people.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Now you can actually make a person. You can actually make his voice, his face, deep fake it. And now there's just so much data on him in this real world that you can now tie it into this technological thing, which is like what Panda is saying is science fiction, and it feels light years away, but it's actually
It's
on your
data.
phone. It's actually on your phone. You just saw Joe Rogan say something he's never said, but that was him in a sense, you know.
So are you guys saying that, I mean, right now everything exists on this, right? Are we not far away from having the stuff that exists on here to the stuff sitting right between you guys and we're talking with the thing? Because when that day, because right now, look, we figured out how to make bodies that feel real, like the whole silicon thing and whatever.
Bro, that's what I'm saying.
Like we figured out how to do that. So we've got the physical stuff done. Like we've got like robotics and that can move crazy and whatever. Move even better than us.
I mean, it's gonna take a while before we have the full mechanics of like what a human is. But
True,
in terms of saving somebody and like,
Yeah.
we
But
already have that.
I guess the simplest way to put this: real versus non-real. At the end of the day, one is real, one isn't real. At
Yeah.
the end of the day, right? It's maybe the better question is like, how far are we going to get in replicating life to the point where we might not need life, where this thing that we have replicated is more than this so-called life.
It's interesting, man.
You know what I mean? That's the point where it's like, okay, now this thing that isn't real has now taken over. And it's like, but at the end of the day, it's not real. It is real.
It's tough.
So if we ever do get to the point where it is real, we're able to bring people back from the dead.
Is that bringing people back from the dead, though? Is my question.
No. I'm saying that we could. I'm saying right now we could. Like we can put on ChatGPT, what would this guy say in his style, blah, blah, blah. Put a deep fake, and then put his voice, and then just plug this, put a mic here, and then
And
let
then make
him
it
talk.
talk.
And when we're
Ooh.
talking, it translates, it goes to ChatGPT,
You know
and
what's
it's
funny?
all about computing power at this point. It's not about if we can do it or not. It's just computing power.
That is true, but I feel like that can only happen if you have enough, let's say, video and audio resources to like know what the person is like. So you would have had to like capture someone's experiences from like maybe when they were young to maybe a certain point.
Oh, you mean like what people are doing right now with social media
Basically,
and stuff?
all of it, yeah, all of it. Like documenting your whole life from when you're a child to when you're a grown up.
Yeah.
It's basically captured all of that experience, and it kind of like basically, it kind of prompts your future behavior based off of all your historical experiences. It's like sometimes when I watch our podcast, just to see if what we're saying makes sense, I would listen to myself talk, and I would listen to myself as someone who hasn't necessarily, like sometimes I listen to it and I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm about to say here,
Yeah.
but let's see where this is going.
Sure.
And then I think to myself, how I'm going to answer Terrence right now is I'm going to say this. And then I say exactly that in the video, and I'm like, whoa, I'm blown away.
Yeah, sure.
which
that's
which is
great. I
that, but
love
it's
that.
like that's exactly me. That's me. But like, if I were to meet someone who did exactly what I was thinking, the way I was thinking of doing the thing, that would freak me out. I'd be
it's
like,
You up, dog. But that is then bringing
it's-
somebody back to life.
yeah, it's almost not even like for if we just took all of our, 4 videos right now
Yeah.
and we put them into a software that says, like make up the personality that this person is.
Yeah.
And actually, just we take all of our phones and we put them here, and our phones basically have a podcast on our behalf. Could the podcast be? It's probably going to be better than the
I mean,
it'd be more structured.
structure. And then we get back to structure.
But that's not better.
Why is it not better?
That's not what better is. Like the
Better, because here's the thing: we have a North Star, and we're trying to go for that. This can go for it.
the
No, but-
attempt of going for a North Star is a thing that is relatable because we are all as a human species are reaching for something. So
Yes.
watching another person reach for something is more compelling than having him reached it.
I have a bit of pushback on that because there's people who haven't necessarily seen Joe Rogan, right? But Joe Rogan, before what we know him as right now,
Yeah.
there was a period of time when he was reaching for the North Star. He is the North Star right now.
You are assuming he is the North Star.
No,
Joe
we-
Rogan is reaching still.
No. I'm talking about the Joe Rogan that we know right now.
The one
of
we
course,
know right
of course,
now.
to him,
That's what I-
to himself, he knows that he can do
Yes.
better with a lot of things, whatever.
The AI
Right?
wouldn't know that. The AI doesn't have a need to improve. So
The AI would,
the
would
approach of
maintain or make even better.
I
Because-
think the AI does have a need to improve. Like
improve as a person.
oh, actually, it does.
It's learning.
No,
like,
that's
the
not a
scariest
need.
thing.
That is its purpose.
But what's the difference?
Here's the thing.
It's getting convoluted.
Okay, yeah.
Here's what happens, right? So, I mean, I'm not sure how true this is, but I heard that they were some guys at the MIT institution, robotic side of things,
Yeah.
and they were basically making killing machines, like killing robots.
Why are we doing this?
You have to.
No, don't really not.
You gotta do the most extreme thing, but basically they were making, killing
Gotta
robots and
scare these
whatever.
other countries. Hey, look what we can do, bro.
And then
And
at some
everybody
point,
dies. Because,
Oh, then
anyway,
everybody
yeah.
doesn't die
Yeah,
because we.
I don't know, man.
That guy can do some wild shit, so let's stay away from it. I mean, it's like that old thing about better be prepared than not being prepared, or something like rather be a
gardener.
a gardener, blah blah blah. But let's say what's the actual say?
It's a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
so basically,
I'm not condoning war.
these guys were making robotics
Yeah.
that
Killing
would,
robots.
that would kill people, I guess, right? And there was a time when they were done with the experiment and they stopped them.
Oh, God.
One of the robots found a way. I don't know how, but because I mean, when you're fighting, you need to there's certain things that you need to kind of like come up with
You
in
learn.
combat, and you need to kind of like come up with a solution for whatever's happening to you, so you can defeat the other robot or whatever.
Yeah.
So this robot was so good at that it was even able to kind of like when it was shut off. Before that whole thing happened of it being shut off, it basically had accessed a satellite from outer space that would allow for it to wake up. Not only wake up, but also just like fix some of the things that some of those guys did not necessarily do on it. So
Fix itself.
it woke itself up and it improved its software
Yes.
way beyond whatever those guys were doing at the time. So it's like when you say that if we put ourselves on these phones and we have virtual versions of ourselves, they could actually be better. Like, in fact, if your prompt in the software is create a character of me that is constantly reaching for the North Star, that is the most perfect version of you, because that thing is gonna keep going up
Yeah, but
way quicker and way better.
in that sentence is the flaw. Is like you are a prompt and I am the guy who's reaching.
I
and
am.
in my journey, my detours, my mistakes in my journey are the things that also teach me. How are you taught? Are you also taught by your mistakes?
Yeah.
As the machine?
Yeah.
As,
Because, look.
No, it's interesting.
Because machines do a thing where they basically try all the variables.
For sure.
Have you tried all the variables in your life? You've never. You
That's-
have.
that's the-
But
that's
but
the-
you haven't tried all the variables.
That's the difference again. See, if you try all the variables and you go to the one that is right,
yeah.
what is right? So I try all the variables and I go to the one that is seemingly wrong.
Yeah.
I end up in a different place. You end up in a different place. You saying your place is better than mine. I'm saying no. My place is where I am.
I think there's also like, I guess, happiness and
It's so-
stuff
it's tricky, yeah.
involved. So, yeah, maybe the machine might not be doing it for those things. It might just be doing it for the supposed North Star, and your North Star might lean into emotion a bit more than the machine does.
Yeah.
I don't know if the machine has that level of emotion.
Yeah, sometimes
So
I'm
that's the
tired,
only thing
bro.
I can think of.
Do you
to-
guys think this conversation is easy to follow? Because I find myself getting a little bit lost, and I come back into it sometimes.
Yeah, I think
Like
it's hard for me to follow it
Yeah,
in
it's tough.
moments, but
And you
I'm
see that?
enjoying it.
Yeah, no, you're enjoying it, but you see that
Yeah,
our AI versions would not struggle with this. They'll just, in fact,
Oh,
they would
that's what
they
you're
would
saying.
explain this, in you could be like, talk about this complicated
College
thing.
professor.
Talk about this complicated thing in a way that everyone can understand, or most people
Jesus.
can understand, but still keep going with the conversation until you get to a point where I guess like everyone is on the same page, kinda.
but that goes back to my point in regards to
How do you beat?
our hindrance in understanding things gives us that millisecond or that time to go in different places, right?
Yeah.
And not just choose the right one. We go in different places and we express those different places. What that machine does, it goes to that place.
It only
and
goes to the
goes
right one.
Yeah.
But-
go.
but-
We are going in different places and we are expressing that. And in that, it creates webs of like thought in other people's minds. Like, oh, you could have gone there, but then you bailed. So you went there and then you bailed and now you've arrived in this and you think this is a good one. But now the audience is stuck on the other three you could have gone to because you've expressed that in your...
Yeah. You know what you could also do with that is you could also just ask for the AI to
Do that.
express its mistakes as it goes.
Sure.
And like, show me your process, robot, until you get to the thing
Jesus
that
Christ.
that is right.
Sure,
So
sure. No, yeah.
the robot won't give you like, I guess the only annoying thing about the robot is it's going to give you like 10,000 variables, as opposed to if you're doing it, you might go through 3, and then you'll get to the thing you're like, okay, I
Sure.
think we're comfortable with this, then we'll move on with it.
Yeah.
Whereas it'll give you like 500 different ways, and then it'll say the most optimum way of this is the 501.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's too wild.
In a lot of ways, we are AI guys, if you think about it, because we are constantly in fact,
Isn't it derived from like the human thought process?
I mean, yeah, for sure, it is. It
I
is.
mean, it's
Yeah, that-
artificial intelligence.
Yeah,
It-
exactly.
it is, but I think, we are trying, like, people are always trying to achieve the best thing that they can. Like, we're always reaching, for the thing at the top,
Yeah.
right? And so, with that being said, like, we have gotten to a point where we are basically seeing that we basically have a cap on our thinking and the way in which we can process information. And we have, to make up for that, we've created something that can think on our behalf, something that can probably do all the work in less time and get to a certain solution much, much quicker.
And what?
I
Where
feel-
does that leave us?
No. I mean, look, hopefully it doesn't get to a point where these things that we create kind of like form their own, sense of self. Because I think that's where the problem is.
Maybe, yeah.
Because if you create something, it's like, if when you have a kid, your kid is basically your AI, bro. Like you program that person.
Yeah.
until they say to you, "I cool, thank you for all that, but this is this is my path now." And I wonder if that's what AI is. It's like we are currently like, you know, controlling its path and where it can go and what it can do. And will there be a time where it goes like, "Thank you, human parent, but I'm fine now. I think I've gathered all the information that I need to do whatever it is that I feel like I might, you know, that whatever it is I feel like is the best."
No,
On
man.
some Skynet
AI
shit.
is so humble.
know?
It's
AI.
chance.
Have you tried the Bing?
Oh God.
Or but again, is it Bing?
It's Bing. You're
That's
right.
like harassing people.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. Like it's tricky because I guess as humans we do have to do, you know, we do have to push in terms of innovation and stuff. Like push it to the limit, and then we'll find something there. But it's like sometimes I do feel like we push too far, man. Because how do you even switch that off? Because something that can connect to a satellite, it's on some Skynet shit. How do you
Yeah.
something that can connect to a satellite and then figure out a way to fix itself and then come back and switch itself on? It's like a lot, and
It
I'm
needs-
it's long.
I heard Jordan say this one time. He was like, the robots that they're building now, basically, they're not going to shoot where you are. They
How are you gonna
not only are they going to shoot where you are, they're going to shoot where you are and where you are going to be. So it's like it shoots you here and the place where it shoots all your options of escape.
like I'm gonna fall this way.
Yeah, yeah,
and I should be on some John
it's
Wick
got-
shit.
Exactly. It gets you exactly where you're going to fall. Exactly where you're going, not exactly where you're going to fall.
Do you genuinely
that's
think
so
we need
impressive.
that? Like we do, right? We need to innovate to that point, I guess.
No, innovation is it's a tricky thing because it's like you can't almost like dictate what we need. It's like
You
it's
can
like
also
that-
be timid
it's
about
like
it.
That option of like shooting where you are. It's like that same technology can be applied to sports in cameras on sports. It's like,
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Because
No,
that's like
It's already being applied. Dude.
exactly.
case
It's like
scenario.
we're seeing war, and it's like, oh, but war has made things beautiful, and with that technology, you know what I'm saying? So
War, what made things beautiful? Was what?
yeah, like the innovation in war has made our lives easier in certain things. I'm not condoning that people had to go through that, but I'm just like, as a those things are both right. War was terrible, and the technology from war slapped.
Slaps currently we're
It
still
was the
using it.
best.
It's you see it happening in like very high levels of motorsport where those are definitely the testing grounds where they take that tech and then they add it to whatever car we're driving right now.
Yeah.
You know, so I guess we need to go to that level to sort of help us, you know, at the lowest level. But it's just like a lot in terms of
Dude, I think it's just all about efficiency. Like we've identified parts of ourselves that are clearly lacking, and we just cannot improve because we're just human. We're just like bags of meat.
yeah.
But then we've identified something that first of all does not get hungry, does not need to rest.
I don't know about doesn't get angry.
Hungry.
Hungry.
Oh, hungry.
You don't need to feed it. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
electricity for sure. But you can also like get, some robotic thing that only gets its supply from the sun. So it's like it's self-sufficient.
Before you said that, I thought of a robot uprising happening in South Africa, but there's load shedding, so
Oh, no,
it
we're
doesn't
fine.
charge.
No, we're good.
We'll be good.
This is
You
why
got the
this is
sun,
why you
guys.
should move.
Yeah, but you said the sun, so if it's solar powered, we're fucking.
No, but also people are stealing solar power things. So I think
That's a short story again. But it ends really quick with load shedding.
No, but think about it like this, right? The whole world is getting taken over by robots.
Sure.
But all the places that are basically disadvantaged, like places with like electricity, water
They
problems,
become a
and all-
haven.
they become a haven because these robots just cannot survive there because first of all, technological growth is not a thing there.
Yeah.
Like there's too much lack within that environment.
So
for-
where are you going?
What do you mean?
Where are you going?
I'm staying here. I'm staying here.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. That's a safe answer. You're not going to Zim. You're not going.
Which country is worse than us?
Let's not
There's
do
a
that.
lot. Let's not do it. Let's not.
No, but also you saying that is like it's a little bit crazy because we are not necessarily at the top of Africa.
No, we're not.
We're not at the bottom.
We're not at the bottom, but who's below South Africa though?
And
Listen, this is
also-
not a good one.
Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine.
But tell you guys now,
No, it's not.
this
even
one is
that.
not a good one.
No, it is a good one because look, these are Googleable facts. These are things you can actually look for.
Yeah, but we can also stay within South A and figure out where in South A, because if a robot uprising
So
does
we're all
happen,
going to Limpopo.
We're going to Limpopo. That's where we're
Yeah.
going.
Let's
Because
do that.
there's no robot uprising in Limpopo.
because you're not like when something like that, like end of the world happens.
Cape Town is fucked.
Yeah,
Joburg is
is
kind of ruined.
Joburg?
No,
I
no,
can't
no.
even
Joburg and
imagine.
Cape Town are fucked.
No. Joburg, I mean, Cape Town has no power cuts. So that's the place that's
No,
like the most.
it does have power cuts, just not as much. But
As
you're right.
No, but still, it's enough to destroy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'd have to
Joburg-
go rural, man.
No, for sure, yeah.
Back,
yeah.
but way
Go to
back.
Free State.
Are you?
What do people do in Free State?
Yeah, I
What
don't
happens
know
there?
about Free State.
Nothing. You go to Free State
Scares me.
and like Western Cape.
Western
No,
Cape.
Western Cape is.
Why are you
is
going
actually-
so far away, bro?
I'm so sorry.
Like
here,
the
we're here,
places
we're
you're
here,
going. No. I'm saying
Soweto.
in terms of location.
Soweto. Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, they take advantage there. Yo,
No, I'm saying literally in terms
We
of
bridge electricity
location.
as well.
The like location in terms of where you like you're going so far away. You think you're making it that far if shit hits the fan?
I think
the closest you can go is Limpopo. I don't know
If
because
sh-
the highways are gonna be fucked as well.
Look, if shit hits the fan, you will see it happen outside of Africa first, technologically. Like if AI is doing a thing, it's doing it outside of Africa first. I'm assuming, and then it'll come to us.
Yeah, it's like coronavirus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when
That's
it,
how
hit,
it happened. Like it
What?
ended here, right?
yeah, but if it hit,
It started on all of the kind of the Western countries, and
Yeah, it's where people travel to the most.
yeah, and then we're the last ones to get hit. I'd say.
no, but
So,
because of that,
How that plays out, that's exactly how
That's how we get. That's how we die. Yeah, we basically stay in Africa is what I'm saying.
no, but it's still bad for us because the way coronavirus happened, it hit us hard because we weren't developed. So when those things do
now
come,
that's our advantage.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Lack of
like
development is
yeah,
becomes our
that's what I
advantage.
mean. That's where the story
It's
is.
tricky.
It's like because of the lack of development in a country, that basically becomes its superpower.
I guess.
That gets us to this point. Our disadvantage becoming our advantage. So right now, right? All the other countries have developed. You know, countries, all the first world countries. We can get to the first. Our goal now is to become a first world country. I know we've kind of removed that in our minds. We've forgotten about that because we feel like we'll always be a third world country.
Yeah.
But we have an opportunity now, right, where we don't have the things developed, but the technology has accelerated so much that there's no need anymore to use the old ways in order to get to where we're going. So now we can achieve certain things where, you know, the things that were achieved in the first world countries, they've already been achieved. So we look at how they moved in terms of the infrastructure, internet, and all these things that are, we can look at them in detail, all the things that are slightly more advanced than us.
Learning from
and-
mistakes.
And do them, but now we are approaching them with this new knowledge. So we're not approaching them the same way they would have done that in 2006 or way then. Now, so now we have an advantage of like doing it better and doing it faster.
When we're disadvantaged,
The disadvantage is that we don't have the thing, but the advantage is that we have the knowledge and we have the technology that is much more capable than when they made it in 2000. You know what I'm saying? So there's so much. Okay, it's almost like Africa now has more opportunities because of a lack of development. So now people can come to Africa and develop and look at how things are running in the first world countries and develop them even better.
I see.
That is the next wealth, and I feel it's definitely the next wealth. You know, it's the next wave of of millionaires, of billionaires in Africa, because now we have that opportunity to now look at what is missing, what is needed, and approach it in this new way with this newfound technology. And it would definitely need some research, but it's there's so much more opportunity. Put it this way: where are you most likely to make more opportunity? Go to a first world country where the world is saturated with the people like you, or go to where they aren't and become and breed more people like you and create those opportunities and create those hubs, creative hubs, technological hubs, science hubs in a place where there isn't that.
So you're basically talking about like the potential that comes with being a developing country.
And the potential of it right now.
Yeah.
Like circling back to that leaving South Africa now would be silly.
Yes.
Leaving Africa now would be silly.
Yeah.
And I don't know where to take this conversation, because it's tricky, because it's like, what areas are needed? We know the areas. Our internet could be better. It's shit.
For sure.
Guess what we have now? Elon Musk has Starlink. Starlink, you can put Starlink. It's coming maybe mid-year this year.
What's that?
Starlink is
Let us know.
you can actually have internet in the farms in Limpopo, in the most remote area.
That's amazing.
Is it
You
a
can now
satellite?
have internet.
Is it a satellite?
It's connected to the satellite,
Mr.
and
Elon.
it's so good.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now with that power of like, we don't even need to live in the metropolitan area. We can just go to a remote area, because if
That's
we
so
need
cool.
internet, that's taken care of. So there are things like that water is fine. We can just go get it from underneath the ground. So there's like things like that where you now have to now reframe your thinking. You're not now thinking in the same context as like 2006 and how you want the same success from that era. And approach it one step at a time, or the same steps. You can now approach it very differently. We're like, you know what, guys, let's bounce. The city life is good. There's so much connections we've made, but now let's start a community in the rural area, because now we have the opportunity to do that.
How do you think people can create? Because I mean, like, how does? I remember there was an interview with someone who knew what Sandton, like, who saw Sandton grow. You know, Sandton is like one of the places in the city that it's probably the biggest business hub.
It's the richest square mile in Africa.
It is. So
It's still.
Oh yeah, it's tricky. Yeah?
It's tricky, but it should be.
Because when we see it, it's like, all right.
no, I mean what
So there's definitely other better places out there for sure.
I'm talking about in the context of Africa.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Sandton is pretty, elite
Affluent.
and up there. So how do people create a whole city that people flock to? Like,
But
I mean, I know Johannesburg
the
was
beginning of
yeah.
See. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Through podcast, so that's the reframing again. It's like you're not thinking. So you're applying the methods of like, okay, how do you create a city? So you're learning from how Joburg was created. It was created around gold.
It was.
What is the equivalent to gold now? Podcasts. Okay, no, like I'm like,
What is the equivalent of gold right now?
no, I don't want to say podcast, but it's like I'm trying to frame my mind to kind of think alternatively. It's like
you were talking about it. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh,
You were
that's
talking
all right.
about it in the previous episode, but I think it is ownership. That could be.
But to
gold.
just go back to what Michal was asking is, how do you create that community? How do you create a city? How do you create an influx of people to come to a place
Yeah.
and develop it?
'Cause
That's the main question.
Because I mean, look, if you look at places that have been beaten up and whatever and old and forgotten, like Maboneng, for instance. If you went back like 15 years ago, that place was like old, abandoned factory buildings.
I'll tell you what brings that to life.
What is it?
But that's like
It's still in Johannesburg also at the same time.
exactly. So that's already done. So the thing that brings back Maboneng to life right now is art, is artists. So artists will make the place beautiful. art will make things beautiful. They will beautify the place. Like look where we are.
Yeah.
But now walk into this place. You wouldn't say where we are, right?
True.
So that idea of like an artist can make a thing beautiful, and this is like a simplified version, but making a place beautiful needs beauty. It needs an artist. So exactly. So now you go to Maboneng, you add more of those hubs, that place will get
This
an
is true.
influx of people. So that's the simplest way to kind of bring in people. But the tough question is like from nothing, from like in a village, and maybe to think about it, it's like it's the foundation of opportunity. It's like you create something. So for instance, we create a creative hub there.
Yeah, I think build it and they will come.
Yeah.
Do you think that, so for instance, there's a certain way of thinking depending on where you are in the world. So if you're in Johannesburg, it's pretty quick, it's fast, everything is happening, right in front of you. Whereas if you go to a village, man, things take time to get to you. But I mean, hopefully with Starlink and whatever, things are, you have more access to things on the internet and whatever. But at the same time, there's just some people, man, who are very influential in the village who just think like crazy. Like just the way of thinking is like backward and weird.
But you
And
don't.
just, like how, okay, you go to a place, you build the thing so that people can come to it. But at the same time, it's like, how do you then change the mindset of the people around? Because it's also like a
That's-
mindset thing, right?
Again, okay. Oh, we're not. So that you don't go there. If you're the person going there, you need to be a good leader.
First of all.
First of all, if you're gonna go there and you are already not to kind of offend you, but if you go there with the mentality that these people are this and that and this, so I can't work with them, then maybe that might be the problem. So
Yeah.
if you go there with, you know what, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna provide these guys with opportunities because they are capable, because they can see opportunities, and I'm gonna introduce them to something that might change their lives. So now you are in service of them. Then that is the community. So sometimes it happens that people are apprehensive to you when you're coming from a different place because you're not in service to them. You are coming to take from them.
I think also, you know what I'm mostly, I guess I want to think about this realistically. I'm not just saying something like, oh, you go to a place and people think a certain way, that's not good.
Sure.
Realistically, hunger is a thing here in South Africa.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a thing. People are hungry. People don't have jobs. It's tough out there, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you go to a place and the problem sometimes is when people can identify that you are someone who does things or creates stuff, like you create, gold out of nothing,
Yeah.
you're basically the target. Some people don't necessarily see that as, oh my gosh, like there's someone here who can do something great and we're going to try and learn from them. It's like, how can we take from this person? How can I, because people are not necessarily because, if you think about like, oh, how do I learn from this person? That's investment. That's like you believing that in due time you'll get to a point where you can, gather a certain amount of information or knowledge, and then you can also do the thing for yourself.
Not exactly, eh? Like for instance, do you want to take it? Oh,
No,
Okay.
I'm just, yeah.
okay. So I acknowledge my shortcomings in regards to how I could be a bad leader. And I know how to become a good leader, but I know that right now the things that I'm doing are not necessarily, I know what to correct in order to become
What are
a
those
good
things?
leader.
Be specific. What
Yeah,
are
so
those
those things is like, I like fancy things. I like
Yeah.
nice shoes. I like nice clothes.
things? Yeah.
I'm too focused on the wrong thing. Like I can't, that's a wrong thing to focus on, right?
Yeah.
It's good maybe from my image and blah, 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 but as a leader, if I'm leading a community and I'm leading a community of people who aren't affording, that's not important.
Yeah.
So those kind of things that they create a target on your back because your framing of your mind is also lacking. You know what I mean? Like if you want to lead a community that is struggling, you don't come there with suits, and you come there with overalls to work.
Yeah.
So you're not becoming a target then.
Not
You're becoming a person who's there to help. So nobody would want to kill somebody. And it's a reframing. It's like the moment you start becoming arrogant and seeing yourself as above a people, that's when you become a target, because now people want to take. But when you make, as a good leader, you make people realize that if you take, you're taking from yourself. And you have to convince the whole community that if you take, you're taking from yourself. Nobody wants that.
No, for sure. I totally agree with that, and that's a good answer. And I think just in addition to that, yeah, you really can't be, I guess, like frivolous with the way in which you present yourself and the way in which you come across to people.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I heard this thing about one of our government parties and stuff. I think it was maybe EFF or ANC, something like that.
Yeah.
You know how they wear, their parties overalls and whatever. But then like wearing that, which is a symbol of like we're part of like the mass population of people who are working like blue collar jobs and they're disadvantaged and everything and whatever. Wearing overalls and like Gucci slides is ridiculous.
Who's doing that?
I think it was either EFF or ANC. Someone there.
It's most likely EFF if it's overalls.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so it's like it goes back to your point.
Exactly.
It's like if you're gonna wear an overall, like wear the whole damn thing, wear the boots,
And not wear it inside. Wear it as a person. Become the person who's wearing overalls as a symbol of help, and you are a symbol of help.
Yeah.
And
Make
not
it practical
not
as well.
pretense. And that's it. We know what is wrong. We know the things that are doing wrong. The government knows the things that they're doing wrong. That's a different topic, and it's a tricky one because Jesus is a political
Tangent.
Everything is political.
podcast. I love it.
Everything is political.
So right now, it's like I love the idea of them wearing overalls. The only thing that is so chaotic is that it's chaotic. It's like the EFF have the image of chaos now for me. I would have loved for them to wear overalls and serve the people, but shouldn't turn a parliament into a thing that we don't respect anymore. We don't even care about it. It's not a place I respect, unfortunately. And I know I'm youth. I represent the youth. I have an inkling, a feeling that the youth doesn't care about parliament. They don't care. And maybe that's the point. Maybe they're trying to deter us from caring about the politics of our countries. It's working, man. It's fucking working. But I don't respect it. I don't respect it. It's chaotic. It's dishonest. It has no honor. So I would have loved for it to have for them to wear those overalls and also represent dignity and represent honor and represent respect and represent a pure sense of serving people. But it's so hard, man. And let me go. Like it's so hard for me to be patriotic. I'm so patriotic about South Africa, and I'm so hopeful. I'm so excited about our future. But it's moments like that where I'm like, the true reason for electricity or lack of, that is, with our infrastructure might be because of corruption. And that's like, it's
a sad way to go.
It's sad, bro. It's sad because it's almost like you're sabotaging your own people. And
Yeah.
it's so hard for you to be patriotic at those moments,
What happens when you lose respect for something or someone in that context? Like when you lose respect.
You become independent. You become independent, or you become independent. I'll think of the or, but there's definitely or.
Yeah, but to speak on the relocation chat and building in a rural area and those people, I think he's right in that you can't come in with those notions, but it's also good to vet the place that you're going to. Like, I think you need to also feel a kinship, but also appeal to the elders of the area and let them know what you're coming here to do, and try to, like what he's saying, meet them at their level, and appeal to whatever
For the
aspects
customs
work.
as well.
Yeah, the customs of the community, and and I think you go in there and you're respectful and stuff. I don't think any ill will come for you. I mean, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see
The
where this is
awe,
going. Yeah.
the awe is like you become independent, where you're not relying on the government, or
You lose hope.
you lose hope and the
And you lose
the
hope.
city becomes a mess.
Have you ever seen someone who's just given up?
Yeah,
Like someone who's like,
I've
like
seen
whatever happens, happens.
of people.
You become
Yeah.
that person where it's like, I guess a few things kind of get messed up in your life. Maybe you try to fix them and they don't work out, but things just keep going wrong so much that it just takes out all the vitality within you.
yeah.
Happen.
Just drop the phone.
So it takes out all the energy out of you that you basically just take every day just as it is. You don't plan for it.
Yeah.
You have no aspiration or anything. You just like,
Yeah.
because I was in an Uber one time, and dude was pretty young, probably like late 20s or like early 30s. Anyways, he was talking about like
Keep going.
like being a millionaire, right?
Yeah.
But in the sense of like he's given up on it. He's like, dude, like, do you really believe it's
Damn.
possible to even become a millionaire? Like, come on, let's be serious right now. And he was laughing about it. Like, when you're laughing, it's like someone saying you can literally like levitate from the ground.
But
In the same way, it's like I'm gonna levitate from the ground and my shoes are gonna turn pink from black.
yeah, but that's like ingrained within him. Like he's never seen. Well, I'm assuming he's never seen an example of that happening from his perspective.
No, but he's given up, is what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
we haven't seen anything we're doing right now from our perspective. We haven't seen it. But, like when you give up, when you give the fuck up.
But I think he's from the hood, is what you say, right?
Yeah, it's from Alex.
But there's things that we knew because of the things we were exposed to.
Do you think it's your fault that you're not exposed to certain things? Sometimes. For instance,
Sometimes, but I don't think, like the way the schooling system in the hood is set up, it's not set up for you to know, like, oh, by the way, you can be a director working for Disney in an animated blah, 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 blah.
I don't think I can necessarily blame the schools for such things. It's more just like, bro, there's people who come from like, sometimes I think about where I started and everything. Yeah, sure, I grew up in Hillbrow. It's a pretty rough place. I don't know. Yeah, sure, we didn't have anything, I guess, like financially as a family or whatever. But like, I don't know, man. Like,
You knew,
I
though.
had an interest in something, and I went out of my way to look for information about that thing.
Yeah, but
And yeah, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. Obviously, it's also within my personality. I'm like, I'm quiet, I'm reserved, and whatever. And I think about things very carefully. And I'm always just like, I'm in my head, and I try to do things by myself, and I try and find solutions for myself as I go. And obviously we're not the same as people. We don't process information the same, and we don't get to the same, destination. But at the same time, there has to be something within you that wants to get that thing that badly, regardless of where you come from.
There is that.
Yeah.
That does exist. And a small little tangent that adds to this. Did you guys watch the AKA Memorial?
I couldn't watch it.
Yeah. But the thing I want to highlight is the friends he grew up around in
Yeah.
the schools. They went to really good schools like St. Thedians and Sacred Heart.
Yeah.
And you can attest to having gone to a good school. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and that's another level of it where it's like Sacred Heart. Like when they were telling stories, all I could listen to, I'm like, they were exposed to things.
knowing.
They were exposed to
insane.
things so much
Yeah.
earlier. It's like,
But even
like, 2 seconds. Like there's like they were traveling. Oh, sorry. I just looked at the tripod and I'm realizing it's a little bit skew. But anyway. But they were traveling outside of the country. Like they were going for something.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was Australia or something.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that alone is just like your mind expanding.
Opening your mind. That's
You're
yeah.
opening your mind at a fresh age.
I
And
get that. But
there's
still,
another level where when you get exposed to things,
yeah.
certain things change, and the friends around you, their families are tied into like wealth, and so the conversations trickle down to the kids, and from the kids, the conversations that are had amongst kids are conversations of good things. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And it's like the striving to become something better, the striving to become what you've seen in the world, the beauty in the world.
I get it.
Yeah.
And you see it when there is a lack of that.
True.
And to that you say?
To that I say, still, the same thing that I'm saying. When you want something to happen, you'll find a way to make it happen. This is my example, right? I wasn't supposed to grow up in Johannesburg.
Yeah.
Like I was born in Limpopo, small village. I was supposed to be raised there, grew up there, and maybe by the time I'm like maybe 18, 19, 20, then move to Joburg to find a job.
Yeah.
Right. When my dad had me, he was advised by his family not to take me from the village, because obviously, what are you gonna do bringing some kid
Yeah.
to Joburg? It's gonna be hard. Most people don't make it. It's hard to just live here. It's dangerous. It's volatile.
So many things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons why not to bring a kid and to raise them here, right? But because none of this, I don't become this. I don't become your guys' friends. I don't get exposed to these things if my dad is just like, fuck all of you guys, I'm gonna do this thing.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Is like, if you really want something, all the voices are like, fuck out of here, and you do the thing.
But you were exposed to that.
Yeah,
You're talking about your dad, but I'm talking about you. You were exposed to a place where you can
And you know
go
what it is?
to a school that can show you stuff.
Yes, but by my dad being like that, he's also helping himself out.
Yeah.
Because then now he gets to have like one person next to him who can like bring him up as well.
Yeah.
Like he has me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't go out of your way to help yourself, you kind of like squander the opportunity of, creating an army of people who can help you. Because, and I go back to the same thing I said, if you really want something to happen, you'll find a way to do it.
I don't think it's that simple.
It is exactly that simple.
All the time,
It's
man.
exactly that
I
simple.
think a big factor for situations
Someone has to
that
start it. Someone has to start it, because none of this happens without your mother, separating from people who are like negative and whatever, and going to a place where she can build herself, and eventually have you where you are right now.
Yeah, but
Someone has to make the first step.
yeah, but what you're saying is those people are still not you. Like if we're talking about that person in the hood, they need that person who can help them and show them stuff, like expose them to the rest of the world. You get exposed to something and then you can push for it. You can't push for anything that you can't see in your immediate vicinity. So I think I do hear what you're saying, but there is something to be said about getting that first kick, like that, by the way, this is something that's attainable. Just knowing that, you can already try to move your way into that direction. So it's a lot of that, but it's also like there's help that's needed to get you off your feet.
Yeah, I get Mikhail's point. It's like, I think you do acknowledge that we are all not made equal. Like, there are people who will easily get exposed to things because they're rich and blah, 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 and they will go to good schools and blah, blah, blah. But the responsibility of the lack, or the responsibility of the underprivileged, is the activeness. Like, they have to be more active about it. They have to be more active about the thing. Because my example was, if I had gone to a different school, just simple that, like, it could have been good, could have been bad, but I wouldn't have most likely not been exposed to animation because I didn't know animation in that sense, you know.
True.
Animation was exposed to me in NSA,
Yeah.
and that's the thing that changed my mind.
what
That
I'm
changed
saying.
my life, and that doesn't exist if I don't go to NSA. And a lot of people didn't go to NSA.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Facts. A lot of people didn't go to NSA, but not everyone who's good comes from NSA. So what I'm saying is, in as much so, even if you didn't go to NSA, Terrence, like just
The
from
mind.
just from the way you are built, like in here,
Sure.
up here, it's like you have all the necessary equipment to make whatever needs to happen.
True
And
and
yes,
not true.
we're not the same. It doesn't matter where you went, man. Like you could have done like
It's not true. I've had to realize this. So
we'll
so-
never know though.
No, we will because you know
Explain
why.
that.
There are results that come from places that you like. This is a result of coming from this place. This is a result of the coming this place. That's just math, right? So, and there's math on the idea of that. If you stay in a certain community for long enough,
Yeah.
you will succumb to it. The community always wins.
For sure.
If you are in a bad community for long enough, you're not making it.
Yeah.
Your mind, if it's a bad community, you will become that community. If it's a good community, it's a good thing. You'll become that community. So
True.
if I go to a different place, my mind, I think I have strong will as well. Like you're mentioning, like I have a drive, I have all of that. But I'm fighting against forces harder and harder and harder. And
So-
eventually you succumb to them.
So it's a good seed. It just needs really good soil.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's fine. But like, who the fuck is going to put that seed in that soil? Whoever took that seed and put it in there, that's what I mean. It's like,
No, I
there
hear
has to
what
be
you're
someone who comes from like a horrible environment to go to a healthy environment, regardless of what the situation is. Like, your parents took you to a good school that they could not afford.
At
Your dad
all.
was trying to push you into a weird one. A
Sure.
weird school. And you're like, nah, bro, I don't want to go there. Right? So I'm just saying that, like,
He was just looking out for the other kids. man.
I
Yeah.
know, right? Like he has to think that way for sure.
Yeah,
It's part of being responsible, but it's like there has to be someone in the family who goes out of their way,
Yeah.
who goes out of the norm
For sure.
to move from this place that's not healthy and weird to
Yeah.
go to a place that is even if like against all odds, like you don't have the money, like you don't belong in that place.
It's
But again,
definitely
there
a
has
better
to,
message.
There has to be.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is yes, for sure. You are here and you're exposed to all these things and whatever, AKA and his friends and whatever. But before they could get to those places, first of all, this country was not built for people like us. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
So there were people who went out of their ways, even if they were going to get killed, to try and find opportunities for themselves.
Yeah.
And those people, that's what I mean. It's like you have to be bothered enough to get out of your miserable little environment to leave and try something. Because here's the thing, we're all gonna die at some point, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna die. Like, you know, whether I die in a horrible place or in the best place, it's death nonetheless.
Yeah.
Like,
I know where you're going. It's like
I'm just
then
saying, man, like,
reach for it.
reach,
because,
like, because the end-
the alternative is like you die
the
without
end is the
reaching.
same. The end is the same.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
eventually everybody's gonna be forgotten.
But I think you still. What you're saying is there was still somebody, whether it be our parents or whatever, there was somebody who put us in a place where we could.
Someone had to plant that seed somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And some people don't have that. Like the home
And those
environments are not the same.
Those people who don't have that
Need to
hopefully-
be the parents.
Yeah, you have to be the person who
Provides
okay.
that,
Yes.
makes
I,
that
I
happen.
Yeah.
see what you're saying.
you have to be that, because if you are not in that environment, you are that person. You are the person to take the seed to a much healthier a much healthier spot
Okay.
to grow. That's what I mean. It's like, yes,
Yeah.
it's environment, but it's like also who the fuck goes to that environment? The environment doesn't come to you for sure. You go to it
Yeah.
and you make something out of that space.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I just don't want to oversimplify like how.
Sometimes over fucking simplify.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
I
Exactly.
guess, yeah, just do it. It was like what you were saying about Luffy
Yes.
and One Piece.
Everything is as simple as it seems. It's all simple.
Yeah.
All of it. There's nothing that's not simple.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
That's
I hear
good.
you. I hear what you.
It's a good
point.
message.
Yeah, I think it's a much more powerful message to give people the responsibility to have control of their own lives. Like again, going back to politics, there's no need to rely too much on the government. Like take some responsibility, man. Carry something, like Jordan Peterson would say. Like, make something. Start small. Start one step at a time. Show yourself a glimpse of what could potentially be great about you, and yeah.
This went all over. Like it
Ooh.
went from
Yeah, please let us know
I loved it.
it went.
Yeah.
I loved it.
how crazy that episode was.
I mean, we'll see. We'll
Wow.
see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of the comments are cool.
Yeah. Shout out to the comments, man.
Shout out to how engaging.
Yeah, this man goes in.
Shout out to all the 3 comments that I replied to. You guys are great.
Karen Benz is not a dude; she's a girl. But I think you
I
just
said
meant
all
like,
the guys.
No.
I say
But
that?
in the comment, you were like, "Thanks, dude," and I was like, "Oh,
No, dude is very neutral.
it's neutral."
I'll
so
call
that's
you
what,
dude whether you are
Male or female.
Shout out.
Okay. you guys, while I was walking, you said that was a good place.
Yes.
I didn't hear. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
It's a great place. Yeah.
thanks for listening and like.
Comment.
Subscribe.
Lovely.